All right, sorry, I got a notification on my phone and everything shut off. Okay. For our KC, the important part to get the look that we're after here is to make sure we have a nice thick outline and let it crust before we start filling it in. So on one, I'm gonna do red. On the other, I will do yellow. But I'm going to show you how to get it a little bit thicker without having to cut a larger hole. Now you certainly can, but let's see. There we go. Kind of forgot where I was at. So we're going to go through here and put our first line on, following the shape of that cookie. I love these little letters. Okay, so I'm a little curved here, but that's okay. We're then going to go back on top of it. Ooh, got a little clog. And we're going to do another line, another outline right on top. Because we want this to be nice and thick. We don't want it to disappear when we put our flood in there, when we fill it up with yellow. So this just helps us build it up. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to do yellow for the C. Same thing. I'm going to outline. And then I'm going to come back over and do it again. Tedious, tedious work. Okay, and we'll let those set for just a second. It looks like our time frame is absolutely perfect to set those aside and come back and finish our KC heart on this double heart cookie. Now this is really important, right up next to that we get a nice, solid, thick fill, and that way they don't melt together as two hearts. That red heart literally looks like it's on top of or in the foreground of the set. Okay, I'm just going to get that all piped in. And you've got two options here. On this particular cookie, I waited until it crusted and added the KC. You absolutely can do that. I started thinking, and in all honesty, it may be easier, and who doesn't like easier, to go ahead and do it while the red is still wet, so that you can use your little tool a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and put my KC in here. I'm going to build my block letters. And the C is harder for me. So what I'm going to do is thicken that, and this will be wet on wet. I'm going to show you how to fix your corners to make them nice and sharp. Okay, we just want to get everything in there. All right. Okay, so then you can come back in and adjust. Make sure the tip of your little magic wand is nice and clean. And you can pull the yellow out. You can tuck the red in. You can smooth things as you wish to get things a little bit sharper. Now be careful, these are teeny, 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 tiny movements, but I was able to get close to a nice sharp block letter. So that would be my recommendation for a slightly easier way to do that if you don't feel like your hand lettering is as on point as you want it to be. So it didn't take very much time at all for these little lined cookies to crust. So we're going to go ahead and pull those in and fill them up. And I like a nice decent fill, but I want you to do what makes sense just so that you can still see the red outline. So that might be less, that might be more, depending on how tall you got it. And again, corners, you can use your little magic wand to tuck that in. If you're not getting close enough, I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. Tedious, tedious. You guys know. I don't have to tell you. Go nice and slow when we have skinny spots. All right, so we can push these things into the corners because sometimes it's hard to get close, and make sure that everything looks nice and sharp. Very well defined. Okay, so that's the K, and then the C, pretty self-explanatory, but we're gonna do the same thing. I didn't get the wall on my outline on the C as high as I did the K, so I'm going to be real careful about not over flooding this or getting too close.